And we are live. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our viewers from all over the world. And thank you so much for joining us once again for another edition of Friday Fireside. So, for the last few weeks, we've been doing something different each and every time. So this time again, we're thinking of like switching it up a little bit, and we are going to do a bit of a live code. So the last time we spoke to a security researcher, Heath Mehta, and we did like a blue team versus red team sort of back and forth with him, and that was great. That was one of our most viewed Friday Fireside live streams ever, and we'd love to have more like that. This time, however, we are going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be showcasing an upcoming course that we're going to be releasing in the AWS security learning path. So we are having a brand new course on Amazon Cognito. So this is something that is, we've been getting a lot of requests for this particular course. And I have with me Rajesh Kannumuru, who is the cloud security lead at AppSecEngineer, and he's the guy responsible for bringing this course to the AppSecEngineer library. So welcome, Rajesh.
Hey, thank you, Anish. Thank you for the nice introduction.
Yeah, so from what I understand, you'll be showcasing the AWS, I mean the Amazon Cognito, one of the labs from that course, right? Is that what you're going to be showing us
Yeah,
today?
yeah, Anish. We'll be going through what is AWS Cognito. We'll have a couple of introduction towards identity pool, also user pools, and
Mhm.
then we'll switch to how we can use identity pools as an IDP and object server. This is something I'll be covering today. This is the plan for the day.
Awesome. That sounds great. So, this is going to be yet another course in our immensely large and growing library of AWS security courses. So, look forward to this. It's going to be hitting the AppSec Engineer library very soon. So, look forward to that. You will be notified by email if you're subscribed to us. So, before we get started, I would like to announce the winner of the last Friday Fireside giveaway. We were giving away a DevSecOps security bundle, and the winner of that, the lucky winner of that particular bundle, is Lokesh. So congratulations, Lokesh, on winning this amazing bundle. I really hope that you start to learn a lot of things about security automation and DevSecOps with this particular bundle. We have a ton of amazing courses and challenges coming up in that learning path. So look forward to that. And I would like to also mention that for this one, since we're doing AWS security, we do have an AWS security bundle giveaway happening right now. So the Google form is in the description of this particular video. So you can check that out, and you can leave us your details, and we will be reaching out to you in another week or so if you are the winner, if you are the lucky winner. All right. So I think we can get started with the live code. Over to you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Anish. Uh, I hope my screen is visible, and I'll get started with the Amazon Cognito, and then a little intro about me. I am Rajesh Kanamaru. I work at AppSecEngineer as a cloud security lead. Being a cloud security lead, I am responsible for ensuring the security of organizations' data and system and cloud computing environment. This includes implementing security measures, monitoring for potential threats, and responding to security incidents. I do active research with respect to changing trends to the security in the cloud. I am one of the instructor and content creator at AppSec Engineer, whereas I'll be largely focusing on AWS, Azure, and more towards cloud and DevSecOps. And I'm one of the certified AWS solution architect associate. Now, let me give an overview of AWS Cognito, Amazon Cognito, which is a cloud-based user identity and data synchronization service offered by Amazon Web Services. To make it simple, it's we use AWS Cognito, Amazon Cognito for authentication and authorization. Mostly developers use it for to create, manage, and maintain user and identities, and also to secure access to the resources of their application. There are a couple of things that we need to discuss while discussing about the Cognito. The one thing is user pools and the other is identity pools. Now let's have a detailed discussion about the identity pools and user pools. At the end, we'll be having a look at like how we can use identity pools for authorization and access one of the AWS S3 bucket to upload an object. Now, like I discussed, the basics of Cognito, like we have user pool, identity pool, federation, and how the security features that Amazon Cognito provides and few customizations that we can do. Mm, like what is an user pool, which is an user directory within Amazon Cognito that contains the user accounts for our application. To make it simple, like to make it simple for you, we use AWS Cognito as an authentic, like we use it to store you, like we create an user, we create user, we use it, we use that for sign up, sign in, store user profile information. We can validate the email ID. It's more towards authentication and authorization, one of the service provided by Amazon Web Services. Now, what is an identity pool? Like in user pool, you create and like you create, manage the users within the user pool. When it comes to identity pool, for example, think of a scenario. You might have you like there is some e-commerce application, or it might be there might be some banking application where you need to upload a object. Like at the end of the day, they store that object in some. In this scenario, think of a scenario. They are storing it in Amazon S3 bucket. How do you do that? If you want to store, upload an object to an Amazon S3 bucket, you need some sort of access that need to be given to an end user. This can be done using identity pools by leveraging it as an object server. Like what happens is like it identity pools provides an unique identifier for each end user, which is commonly known as cognito identity. That they can use this like as soon as you are authenticated and you try to upload an object, what happens is like a role is attached to the identity pool. Based on that, they'll check whether you are authorized to perform this sort of operation based on the role that has been attached. Now let's have a like we'll be having a look how we'll be leveraging this Cognito IDP as an object server. Let's have a overview of what is an object and what's the role granting. Whereas authorization is an important process that determines whether a user is allowed to do an action or not. Like as I told, and as I have given an example, right? If you want to upload an object to Amazon S3 bucket, if you try to do that, as soon as you try to do as an authenticated user, that doesn't mean you have access to upload the object. You should have the enough privileges in which you are supposed to be authorized. To make it simple, let's have a visualization diagram. See, in this we have two user, one is Alice and the other is Bob. Alice tries to upload an object to an S3 bucket. As soon as you try to do that, the Cognito, what it tries to do is like it checks whether you are authenticated or not. Once you are authenticated, then the next thing is authorization. It checks whether you have enough privileges to perform these actions based on the role policy attached to the Amazon Cognito identity pool. Now, similarly, if Bob tried to do the same sort of operation, the evaluation is the same, but in this case, Bob does not have access to do that. In this case, it will be denied for Bob, whereas it is allowed for Alice. Like the same concept, we'll be having a look through an practical example. Uh, Let me reshare my screen. I'll share my entire screen at the moment. Now, see, if you check, we have all our code base. Like we'll be using Terraform to deploy. Like we'll be creating a Cognito user pool, identity pool. I'll give a detailed instruction, and then we'll deploy the stack. And we have one sample application in which we'll be leveraging this application under the hood. When you try to upload an object to an S3 bucket, we leverage what do you say? We will be leveraging Cognito client and then as part of our application. And then we connect to using this client, we'll try to communicate with Cognito IDP and then it performs the evaluation. And then if you are allowed, it will allow you to upload the object. Now, let me go through this. Like as part of this demo, we'll be sticking to US West 2, in which this is a variable that we have defined. Then we are creating AWS Cognito user pool, in which in user pool will create developers usually create user, they manage the user, manage their profile. In which we are saying create a user, allow admin create a user only false. Anyone like if you would like to sign up, if you get the sign up URL, you can sign it up and then you can sign in. Administrator is not required. This is one of the options that they provide. And then we are asking for email configuration, and then we have some password policy, which is minimum length is 8, lowercase letters, numbers, special characters, all these are required, but these are few things. Along with that, for the time being, SMS configuration we don't want at the moment. Even MFA we kept it off. And then we are creating one more thing called AWS Cognito user pool domain. Like whenever you create a user pool, Amazon Cognito will try to give some URL which is not a user friendly. So we are trying to customize it with the domain name AppSec hyphen. We are creating some random string. In this case, we generate a random string of length 8 special characters with special characters and uppercase letters as false. And then, see, since we need to upload an object to S3 bucket, we need a bucket as part of this demo. So we are creating an S3 bucket and we have parse configuration enabled, in which we are allowing the origins localhost equal to 3000. And then since the stack gets deployed on AWS, for sure we'll be using the provider AWS in this case. And we have few output variables defined, such as user pool domain, S3 bucket. All these variables will be leveraging as part of the application. Like whatever the sample app that we have, we need these variables. I mean, these values that we need to set as part of for the application to work. And then since we have our user pool where we create the users, like when someone wants some short-lived credentials, we leverage Cognito identity, in which it will provide short-lived credentials so that they can perform some sort of operation such as uploading, deleting an object, or else accessing DynamoDB based on the permission that has been attached. In this case, we are creating Cognito identity pool. For this identity pool, we are attaching a role called IAM role. Like we have a role in which we have defined, we are stating that in the principle we are saying this role is specific to Cognito identity. And then for this role, we are attaching some policy. Like the policy is something like this, in which we are allowing S3 list all my buckets, S3 get bucket location, and followed by we are giving actions equal to S3 colon star on the resource AR and AWS colon S3 colon followed by S3 bucket name. In this case, in which we are giving access to the S3 bucket that we have created in the previous step, like S3.tf, we are creating a bucket. And then we have something called Cognito User Pool Client, in which we'll leverage this user pool client as part of the sample applications that we have over here. Before going through this sample application, we'll just deploy the Terraform stack, in which it creates identity pool, user pool, Cognito user pool client, and one S3 bucket. Let me give me a second. We are here, and let me do Terraform in it, in which it will initialize all the required packages. I mean to say, it will download and install all the required packages that it will leverage to perform Terraform to deploy all the stack in Amazon Web Services, in which at the moment it has successfully initialized. And our next step is Terraform apply. Now we are deploying the stack to our Amazon Web Services account. Now, totally it's 12 resources. I guess it won't take a minute or so. By the time it's created, yeah, it's very fast. Like it has been created. Before that, before going through these output variables, I would like to go with the S3 app that we will be leveraging. Now, if you ask me, let's go with the main.js. We'll be using a Cognito identity, what do you want to say? Cognito client. We'll be leveraging Cognito client over here, in which we'll make use of pool ID, pool domain, and pool endpoint. So what I'll try to do is like we have some environmental file in which we'll be fetching all the data from this file as part of the application that it leverages. Like you don't need to be a master of like what going on, especially with the app. This app is just a some basic application which takes input as a file, and it uploads it to the S3 by performing authentication and authorization. Like it gets authenticated and authorized. I mean, the user, whoever tried to upload, the user will be authenticated and authorized. Now, if you ask me, see, we're leveraging S3 bucket and bucket region, Cognito login URL, logout URL. We need to update these things. Now, let me copy from the output. This is the bucket name. And this is the Cognito login URL. This is a logout URL. Let me fetch the pool ID. And this is the pool ID. This is the reference data that we have over here, and I'm updating with the updated information. This will be automating as part of our course. Today we are showcasing the demo from our local environment, so we are doing the things manually at the moment. And then I need to update the Cognito pool endpoint, which is this. Okay, let me copy. I have copied it. I have updated over here, which makes sense. And this is a node application which just you just leverages. Now, what I would like to do is like ls, and I'll go to the app. Sorry, the Cognito S3 app and give me ls. I have initialized. I mean, npm install. See, all the required dependencies has been installed just before the live stream, so that it reduces some time. And then I would like to run the app. For your information, the app will run on localhost 3000. Before going to the app, let me stop the app. We need to sign up. Like if you want to upload, what I mean to say is like, give me a second. See, if you would like to upload an object to an S3 bucket, if you want to leverage this IDP and all that server, initially you must be created. See, if you are like there, an user should be created in the user pool. So what we are trying to do is like we will sign up a user over here. Now let me give the data something like Rajesh. Okay. You need to give the valid email ID so that we'll get an email. See, and we have a strict policy of password policy. So I need to match these things. Like it should contain a lowercase letter, it should contain an uppercase letter, it should contain a number. At least the password should be 8 characters. So let me click on sign up. I'll get a password. Give me a second. Oh no, many things. I'll get a verification code. Let me fetch my verification code. Yes, I got it. Uh, that is 28201. Confirm account. Yeah, see, we have verified it. If you would like to check, let me give it a try. I'll show you it. You might think the app has failed. No, it isn't. The reason is what happened is like in this case with the endpoint that we have used. Once you are done with the email validation, we are telling it to redirect it to localhost 3000. At the moment, we are not running anything at the localhost 3000. That is the reason it says the site can't be reached. But we just need to run the application. Meanwhile, I have something to show. Cognito. Let me go to Cognito. See, we have an user pool created over here. If you check, we have an identity pool as well, in which in user pool, as I convert, right, we'll be creating a user, we'll manage the profile. We have group, sign up experience, all these things. See, at the moment, we have only one user, and the username is Rajesh, and the password is rajesh@v45.com, and the email has been verified since we have what is say we have given the code and verified. But at the once verification is done, we ask you to redirect it to localhost 3000. In our case, the app is not running. Let's try to run our app now. Just to fetch that sign in URL, I just stopped the application. That's completely fine. Now let me run the app on localhost 3000. Yes, see, we have very simple application in which it accepts one of the file. Or to say before I say how we will upload this thing, what I mean to say is like first you need to log in. I mean to say you need to sign in as AppSecEngineer. Since we have created the user with the username Rajesh and we have the password, let's continue sign in as Rajesh. Now, see, I have logged in. Once I have logged in, I have, see, in this case, I need to upload an object. When I try to upload an object to Amazon S3 bucket, what it tries to do is like, for this specific user, Rajesh, does he have some sort of authorization to upload an object? Before checking for authorization, it will check the authentication. If since I am authenticated, the next step is as soon as I select the file, I'm just selecting some file with the name data.txt, and if I click on upload, see the upload is successful. What happens under the hood is like it goes a call to Amazon Cognito, and then since we are using IDP as an authentication server, it checks whether I am authorized and authenticated to upload an object to Amazon S3 bucket. Since for Amazon, since we have given enough privileges to upload, see we have S3 colon star to upload an object to the specific S3 bucket. I'm able to upload the object in which it says upload is successful. See, if you like the main intention of this application is like you don't need to give an access like creating an IAM user or else giving some sort of access to the application. It is not required. In this case, we are giving short-lived temporary credentials to our user whoever signed in through a Cognito user pool for limited time so that they can upload the object. This is something we have as part of the demo. Yes, Anish.
Awesome. So thanks for that, Rajesh. This was an excellent presentation, and I'm sure we learned a lot from this. So remember, guys, this is actually just one of the many labs and many lessons that you'll be taking in the brand new Amazon Cognito course that we'll be releasing very soon. And Rajesh is the guy who's bringing you that course. So I'm really happy to be here with him, like showcasing this all of our new content, upcoming content. And of course, we always have new challenges, new playgrounds and courses, always releasing pretty much every 2 weeks. So that is something you should definitely keep an eye out for. Subscribe to our newsletter if you haven't already, and check out the AWS security learning path for in the next few over the next few days, and get ready for this brand new course. And before we log off, don't forget there is a AWS security bundle giveaway happening right now. So the Google form is in the description. So just leave us your details over there, and we will select one lucky winner who is going to be given a 1 year license to the AWS security bundle for an entire year. So that is something you can look forward to. It's going to be amazing, and it's going to have a ton of new courses that will be added over the whole rest of the year. So you can check that out, and we will announce the winner next week. Thank you so much, Rajesh. Thank you so much to all of you for logging in for this live stream, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.